Hey there, everyone. Just waiting to see if anybody pops in here. This is the first time that I am trying Quilt-Cam after a year. And wow, things have changed on my dashboard. So this may take me a few minutes to figure this all out. What I've got is a tiny little screen in the bottom corner of my dashboard, and I can't see what's going on here. So what is this? Share to groups. Okay, so we're going to share to my group, and we're going to, okay, share to the group. And my goodness. So I apologize. This is Bonnie Hunter from the Quiltville studio, my little post office building, and we have not done a Quilt-Cam for forever. And I wanted to try, but I can't seem to get this to share over to our open studio group. There we go. Save groups for next time. And let's see, maybe if I minimize this a little bit, and there I can click share. Okay, good. I also want to go to open a new tab on here and see if I can see what we are doing. So I'm going to pull over here and see if this is live. So give me a shout out if you can see me. I'd love to know what's going on. I don't see. I'm going to click Quiltville there and see. Wow. Okay, so I can see us, and this is awesome. I'm going to biggie this here, but I don't want any sound on it. So we're going to turn the sound off. I have a new computer, and it's supposed to connect better. I've also heard from people that we can have better cell phone connection here, so I thought that maybe I could pop in and say hi. After a year, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to say, other than it's great to be here. It's a beautiful sunny day outside. I hope you can see from the windows behind me. And I have a very simple task to do today that is a little bit boring, so I thought I could do it while talking to you today. It looks like the camera and the video feed is a little bit behind what I'm speaking, so that's another crazy thing to deal with here. But I've got these Snail's Trails blocks, and I've got enough of these little block quarters that I'm going to be sewing them now into these big blocks. And this is going to be a future digital pattern. It's actually paper pieced, so I've been having a lot of fun with this. It's been a project I've worked on for about the past year. It's not been in a hurry. I haven't worked on it continually. It's kind of been a fill-in when I feel like it. But I am doing this to make a quilt big enough for my king-size bed because I need a new one. The last king-size quilt that I made was for our Celtic Solstice mystery several years ago. So this is my plan. The fabrics I have in here are everything. If I bring this closer to the camera, I'm hoping that you can see that I have some Dr. Seuss, I have some more modern fabrics, I have some novelties. There are some Civil War, there is some old VIP calico. There is just about everything in these blocks, and I have just had the most fun dealing with these. So what I want to do, and trying to be aware of my camera angle here so that you can see what's going on. All I want to do, I have two stacks, and this is how I do forced random without thinking about it a whole lot, is I will just make block halves. If I can make block halves that I'm happy with, then I can put the halves together and have holes. And hopefully there will be enough variety in those to do a good thing. I've got my hubby's visiting at the back door. Hang on just a second. What do you need?
I am running to town. I got to get couplers for the hydraulics, and I'm inspecting my motorcycle.
Do you want to take Zoe with you?
No, I'm taking my motorcycle.
You're taking the motorcycle. Okay. All right, bye. First sunny day going on the motorcycle, so that's going to be good. So what I want to do is just set these in a way that I can make pairs that are different enough from each other that I don't end up with the same thing with the same thing. Now, some things like this, there is no way to press these. If I turn these around, you're going to see all of my yucky thread on the back, okay? And if this is the way that I'm sewing it, this is the way that it would be visible to you. These seams will never oppose, because with paper piecing, everything is pressed out towards the piece you just added last. So all the seams are going in the same direction as each other. That means it's going to be a pinning job. So this is why I thought I would check in with you here today. I have not actually been able to see the comments as they come in. Let me see if I can flip down here and see if there's comments. And wow, they're small. I'm going to try to, I'm on my laptop, and I'm going to just biggie this size up a little bit so that I can see you. And I wonder if I can do full screen here. Maybe that'll help. This is all new to me, so they've changed absolutely everything, except I don't want volume. All right. So if I do this here, I see lots of hearts and lots of thumbs up. That's wonderful. Sandy says, so good to see you. Can you tell that I didn't do my hair today? I didn't do any makeup today. I did brush my teeth today. That's about it. As I said, this was impromptu. I don't know how you guys pin, but when I am pinning, for me it's a 2-pin process, and I think I can get close enough to the camera here. I've got an external camera because it's better for the microphone, but I use 2 pins, and the first thing I do is pin those 2 points. See if this can catch up with me. I don't know. Okay, it's the video feed is a little bit behind where I actually am right now. So I'm going to pin these 2 points together. So that first pin is just going to hold the points where they are. And then I'm going to grab another pin. And I really like these magic pins that have that little head on them. They're easy to grab and easy for me to use. So once I've got that first pin in place, then I'm just going to put the second pin right next to it, a little in and out, and then pull the first pin. And that helps me match those points really well. And I'm sewing today on my 1957 featherweight, not featherweight, 301. Boy, has it been a long time since I've done Quilt-Cam. You know, my husband asked me earlier, he says, you're going to do Quilt-Cam? What will you say? And that's been the problem over the past year, is that I really didn't know what to say. There's been so much going on in the world that it was best that I keep my mouth shut. No, it was best that I just kept my head down and just kept sewing, because I couldn't find the words to say what I was feeling without either bursting into tears or laughing hysterically at things that I could not control. So anyway, we are sewing all of these, and we're going to just make block halves. I don't even have a leader ender project with me today, but I will chain sew these. So that's 1 through, and then I'm just looking at these blocks as they're laid in 2 piles next to each other, if they are contrasting enough to make me happy. Now this pair has 2 yellows in the outside corner if I do it this way, so maybe I want to switch for something else. Maybe I don't want yellow right there. So one of these, I think I will just shift this one. There's one with a red corner instead. So I'm just building my variety as I go, and I think that will work just fine. So again, this is the boring job, is that you've got to pin to match points. Sometimes this is why I do sashing in a block, is because, you know, or sashing between blocks. If I don't want to spend all this time pinning points, and I'm not even going to think about what it's going to be like to pin the rows, which is the next step, because once I get these block quarters sewn into pairs, then the pairs become the big block. Then this weekend, my job is to lay them all out for a king-size quilt, and there will be lots of point pinning. So I'll be watching plenty of Netflix, I'm sure. All right, so I want to make sure all these are going in the machine the same direction so that I can press them all the same way. I'll take this first one off so that you can see. I don't have my iron set up next to me, so I'm just going to fake press right here, and I want to press this direction. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's close enough. There's a lot of bulk in those spots between the blocks, if I am within a pin's width of being close enough, that's close enough to me. So this is all I'm shooting for, is I want to have all of these pairs of block quarters, and then I can spend time matching them to each other. It actually divides the match game in half that way. So we're going to do this one. Nope, that's 2 browns in the corner. So this is why, see, maybe, oh, I like that one. Nope, that's 2 of the same thing. So this is why we are here today. Previously, when we used to do Quilt-Cam, I like that pair. I used to have folks email me their questions and would answer them that way, because with my eyesight, I really can't read what's going on the laptop in front of me. But I have not set up the email address to share your pictures or your questions on my new phone yet. It doesn't have the app. So we will maybe try that next time if this works. This is just a shorty hello to see how you're doing. But what I might be able to do on this phone is pull up the Facebook page and actually read your comments closer to my face. This aging process of my eyes, it's humbling at best. So if we were watching something on TV and there is subtitles, or there's a phone where the character in the movie is texting something and the text bubbles come up on their phone and you're supposed to read that conversation, I have to have somebody read it to me because I just can't see that stuff. Okay. But this is fun. And oftentimes I am snipping my chain apart as soon as the pieces have another pair following them, because that allows me to check those points to see if they're doing what I want them to do. If I waited until I had all 67 pairs in a long chain and then have to take that to the ironing board, if there's a problem, it'll be a long time before I can solve it. So that's pretty good right there. I'm just going to make a stack and just work my way here. That one looks good to me, so we're just going to pin. And I usually pull the pins just right when I am about to hit them with the machine. I try not to go over them. But this is going to be a really fun way to use up all of those cut off triangles from borders, bindings, stitch and flip corners where you trim the excess and pitch it. They call them waist triangles. I don't like to call them waist triangles. They're a bonus for me. But these blocks start really small in the middle and they get bigger towards the outside, so I'm able to use a whole variety of stuff. Pull that pin and pull the one off behind. I just keep some snips behind my machine so that I can see what's doing, and then I am able right away to see if that point is close enough for my liking. It's close enough for what this quilt is. It's close enough. I love the phrase, and I bought 2 t-shirts with this. I rescue orphaned fabrics, and a lot of these are orphans. Yeah, not too much of the same thing. No matchy-matchy. Okay, good. And that's all we're doing, is going with the variety. Let me sew this one, and then I think I'll grab the phone, or else you're going to find my face really close to the laptop trying to read those comments. So there we go. 2-pin process. So the reason why the hubster was here on a Friday afternoon is we got a new attachment for the tractor, and we pulled out a whole hedgerow of bushes, and he's got a grappler that was delivered today so that he can pick up all that stuff and dump it down in the ditch. And there's evidently something that he needs, so he's going to town, which gives me the afternoon free. Hey. All right, so how's that looking so far? Pretty good. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I will flop onto Facebook here on my phone, and I need to be in the other profile. Like I said, this was really impromptu, but I want to be able to read some of your comments or questions. I hope you're getting some sewing time in today or have plans for this weekend. And holy moly, you guys, there's 316 comments. This is really, really fun. All right, I want to turn the sound off on that. How do I do that? No, 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 nope. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you what. This is like the first Quilt-Cam I've ever done. I'm learning it all as I go again. So I'm gonna close, and I want to read the comments. So we have Di Auckland says, "What a Friday bonus!" Thank you, thank you, thank you. Barbara says, "Good morning," and Dot says, "Nice to have a visit with you today." Evelyn says, "Nice surprise, hi." So hello everybody, it's good to see you. There's 300 and some comments. I can't reply to them all, but I love seeing the thumbs up and the hellos. I feel like it's been so long since we've seen each other that it was just a nice way to spend a Friday. I have a haircut next week. Can you tell it's like on its last legs here? Also, I'm just feeling really hopeful, not to pull the whole vaccination versus non-vaccination into play, but I just feel hopeful for myself and those I come in contact with, because my husband and I were able to have our first shots last week. Here in Virginia, what you do is pre-register online, and so they have your area, they know your county, they know what kind of job you have, if you have special requirements or anything. When you pre-register, then they will send you, when they have availability for you, an email for you to then really register and choose your appointment time. And because I'm in a very small area, Independence, Virginia has 900 people. I'm not sure how many are in the entire county, but it's not that big. So they're moving through the age groups fairly quickly. So I was able to get shots for 55 and over instead of 65 and over, as some places are 75 and over, and other places that are much more populated, and I'm grateful. It just feels, I don't know, like we're turning the corner. Both of my parents have been vaccinated, my stepfather and my mom in Idaho and my dad in Arizona. I have other family in Idaho. They're not to their age group yet. So we just have to be patient, but it feels like we're turning a corner, and I'm feeling much more hopeful. I don't know how things are where you are. Whoops, too much of the same thing. Swap this out. But, nope, that's good. Okay. Gotta look for all those duplicates. They're going to show up anyway. Our son is visiting from Portland, Oregon, and where he lives in Oregon, they're still very much restricted where they are, and they have not moved into his age group, which would be over 35. It's hard to believe. And things in some areas of the country are just not moving as quickly as others. So we just need to be patient and know that there was no line jumping here in Virginia. It was a don't contact us, we'll contact you, and they did. So, alrighty, sewing some more. Like I said, I really, really love these magic pins. They're just easy to grip. And if I can just give things a finger press, perfect. That one looks really good. Then I can take them to the iron later when I match up pairs. But can you see how close that one is? Yeah. All right. Moving on. So I'm just working with 2 piles, hoping to expand my variety here. I really like that direction. Okay. So, what else can we talk about now? Zoe's Joe, our dog, is under the desk in my office because the floor is cool. It's a beautiful, beautiful afternoon here, but also because Lola has taken to terrorizing her. Lola will walk by when Zoe is minding her own business and reach out and swipe her paws and hiss at her. And Zoe's not done anything to provoke this. So this is the same reason why our other kitty, Ivy, is now living at the cabin. So that's the kind of everyday shenanigans we get going on here. And the other exciting thing happening, let's see, early next week, I think, Easter week, our son and his little family, his significant other Ashlyn and her son Caston, are moving out of their rental house to a new house in Jonesville, North Carolina. So I have much house cleaning and moving help coming up in the next week or so, and we're really excited for them and couldn't be more thrilled. So here's another one. Matches really well if you do that 2-pin process where you match your points with the first pin that goes straight through, and then use a second pin to take a little bite of the fabric right next to the first and then pull the first pin out. Okay. Too much brown, too much green. What do we got here? Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so yeah, there's even some giraffe fabric right here. I'm listening right now to West with Giraffes as an audio book, and it's really, really good, and it reminds me of being in Africa a couple of years ago. So I'm also really looking forward to some more international travel in the future, and hopefully our fall trips will go through. We've got Vietnam in September and Poland in October, and you know, everything from 2020 was moved to 2021, and then most of 2021 was pushed into 2022. So we're going to have a lot to share with you once we are able to travel again, and perhaps you'd like to join me. You can find my trips at Craft Tours. That's one word, Craft Tours, CRAFTOURS.com. Just look under the quilting category and you'll find the information on my trips. Get your vaccinations. Let's go explore the world once again. All in due time when things are safe and ready. Okay. I don't even know how long I have been doing this. It doesn't even say, and I didn't check the time. I'm just tickled that this is working. So I'm making all of these halves, and then I will spend some time. Whoops, no, see, that would be a duplicate one. That one wouldn't work. But then I will play match game between the halves. So I am pressing them on the back so that center seam will nest. And again, I'll have to pin in the two places and then match the center. I can nest the center to do those. So it's a whole lot of pinning, and pinning is not my favorite thing. So we'll do these. I think that's good. No duplicates. Okay. But this has been really fun, you know, to work on these blocks, and I still feel like I haven't made a dent in anything. So I think that there needs to be a constant little paper piecing thing for when you don't want to think real hard, but you want to use up all those odd shapes of things like triangles and leftover rectangles from strip sets and ends of this and ends of that. And what do you do with all that little stuff? You pay just as much per yard for it as the original fabric it came from. So let's sew them into something. Anything square in a square, that paper piece is easy. Flying geese, paper piece easy, just about anything. And you can do stuff with really fun angles with paper piecing that you wouldn't want to try to do with regular rotary ruler techniques. Okay, so here we are. All of the fabrics, none of them match. They're not from one fabric line. They're not from one genre. They're not from one era. They're just separated into neutrals and colors with as much variety as I can put in them. And that really makes me happy. Hopefully you do too. Let's check back in on those comments and see how they're doing. Let's see, how do I get this to, it will not, it's the comments are not scrolling, so maybe if I do this again. How long does it take? Oops, wait, come back here, come back here. Something says, no, I want to close that. No. How long does it take to paper piece one block? That's a good question. I can do one of these in about 20 minutes. It's not really hard. There's 4 rounds around the center. So So you have your center and then the 4 different times that you go around that center. And you get faster as you go with it. The thing that I can recommend is to stick with a neutralish, not really neutral, but I would say medium thread color versus a dark one. Or I have some places where my thread was a little bit dark because I was trying to use odd bobbins. And if I pull on that seam, I can see that, oh yeah, she used pink there. So try to stick with thread colors that will blend through both your light areas and your dark areas. And then also put your stitch length down really small because that helps the paper come off. Okay, and let's see what we've got here. How do I get... Holy moly, we have almost 700 people watching. That's really cool. Okay, and evidently I am able to find words I didn't think that I have. Were they magic pins? Yes, this is Casey is asking, are these magic pins? And if I come up here close enough, mind you that I won't see how I'm holding these up until 30 seconds after I'm done, because the video delay is a little bit crazy. I wish it were a little bit better. So they're the magic pins. I have them in my website. They come in 100 in a pack, and that should last you a long time. They're nice and sharp, and the shaft is fine. Okay. And she says, breaking up on my end. So Ruth Cuts, this is something that helps nobody. If you're saying it's breaking up on your end, it doesn't help me. It doesn't help anybody else who's watching from anywhere. It's a Facebook issue combined with my very rural internet, and I apologize, but there's nothing I can do about it. So stating that it's breaking up on your end doesn't help anybody, okay? Nothing I can do about it, and this is why there has not been Quilt-Cam for over a year. All right, I'm doing the best I can. Okay, let's do that again. So Ellen says, love both magic pins and glass head 1 3/4 inch. I agree. You need something to grab onto and something that'll go through your fabric easily. And let's see. And Mandy just says, hello from Yorkshire, UK. So that's wonderful. So far, I can say I'm not really impressed with the comments on my phone because I can't scroll them. I have to continually refresh the page. So that's not winning for me. Video is fine here, says Judy. So see, telling people it's breaking up for you, that's only for you. That's like telling people what you're having for dinner. Okay. Worth the breaks for your instructions. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Connie. And here we go. Cleveland, Australia, nice to see you. And boy, I'm getting all kinds of pop-ups on my phone. You're as clear as anything all the way in England. So see, everybody's going to have a little bit of a different experience. So, and perfect in southern Indiana. Wonderful. So glad. Let's do this. So in true Quilt-Cam fashion, this is what I love to do. How many of you recognize that floral print? I think I had a drop-waisted dress with a big sailor collar back in late 80s or early 90s, something like that. Remember that? I used it in this one as a light because it was just so very pastel, and it's gone. Goodbye. Well, maybe I did use it as a dark. Should have used it as a light. We will just put it together with something that makes it shine a little bit better. Maybe this one. That'll work. Okay. So my plan this weekend, even though I kept thinking that today was Thursday all day and it's Friday, Wednesday I went 200-mile round trip. So I lost Wednesday and thought today was Thursday. I want to get this top together, at least the center, and I'm thinking on something for borders. King size batting comes 120 by 120, and I'd like to get close to that. So I'm hoping like by 115 by 115, so I leave myself a margin. I want this to fit my bed, and I want all of these scraps to go to good use, and I want something that I'm perfectly fine with the dog sleeping on, because she gets up on my bed when I'm not there during the day. So this needs to be Zoe safe, and I figure these humble rescued scraps are just perfect for a quilt that can be used to death. Okay, we just keep sew one and trim one. Oh, and here comes my son. I may have to end this Quilt-Cam because he's going to come in the back door. Yeah, we may have to end this here. Hi, Sen.
Hi.
I'm doing Quilt-Cam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Do you want to come around and say hi?
No.
No. There's Zoe.
Hello.
Yeah, you can take her out. So, here we are, matching fabrics. Sun is here. I'm going to continue. I've sewn my stacks down just a little bit. Let me see if I can flip into some comments again. And I'm going to have to do something to figure out why things don't scroll. So this is where I am, and there is nothing that I can do to get this to scroll any further, which is kind of inconvenient. And yet the laptop is quite away from me so that you can see the machine here and still see the top of my head and still see my table. So I apologize if I can't get to everybody's comments. It pops up some. Sherry says, happy spring. Kim says, hello. Tell Jason and Dave hello from Renee. I sure will. And Monique says, thanks for sharing on a Friday morning. Well, I'm excited about this, and we'll keep working with it, and I'll see if maybe I can find a way to make the comments work a little bit better. I'm going to switch back to this other page and see, does it allow me to go full screen here? Yeah, but it doesn't show any comments at all whatsoever. That's just the dashboard showing that we're here. We've been here for a full half hour. Okay. So other exciting things happening right now in Quiltville. If you have not signed up for my Block Base Plus giveaway, head over to the blog, quiltville.blogspot.com. Scroll back to Monday's post. You'll see the title says Block Base Plus giveaway, okay? We are drawing for this wonderful software. It's a standalone software on Monday, so you must get your entry in on this past Monday's post, okay? Along with that, my Tulip Time quilt. Oh, you guys, do you want to see the Tulip Time quilt? Hang on just a second. This is also really, really big, and I can't see what you can see. So if I sit here and just hold this. So this is Tulip Time. It's a wonderful way to sew up small pieces of your scraps into the tulip blossom part. Use a whole variety of greens for the stems and the leaves. All of your fun neutrals can play as background for each block, or you might want to just use one neutral for the entire quilt. That'll be fine too. The little skinny sashings and the stems are what make this shine for me, because I think that the size of the blocks can really be overpowered by wider sashings. I absolutely loved making this quilt, and all of the tulip parts, the leaves, and the little four patches that are at the top of the tulip, I guess you would call that the stamen, that all came from scrap user system sizes. And then I dug into my green string bin to make the fabulous piano key border. And that didn't make a dent in the string bin either. So this quilt really does embody my favorite things. I love using my essential triangle tool to cut half square triangles from strips that I already keep on hand in that size. I use my strips also for the backgrounds of the blocks and strings to do the outer border. So Tulip Time, if you head over to the Quiltville store, just go to quiltville.com and click the tab that says shop at the top. It's in the digital pattern section, 25% off. It's a PDF printable pattern. You don't need to add a coupon code or anything. The sale ends after March 31st. So the morning of April 1st, when I wake up in the morning bleary-eyed, I'm going to put it back at regular price. Okay, so this is tulip time. It works really great as a leader-ender project. Just cut those tulip blocks out and set them by your machine, and while you're working on whatever else you're working on, you can be piecing these tulips in between the seams, okay? All right, so this was our first Quilt-Cam in more than a year. I hope it won't be our last. I wish it could be longer. I'll be working on some things that we can do together. Things to look forward to. I have a new pattern release happening next month, and hoping for one every month to 6 weeks after that. And then in July, be watching for our free Leader Ender Challenge of the year. It lasts a year. How many of you have been working on your Easy Breezy blocks from last year? I'd love to see pictures of your finished quilts or projects, whatever you made with them. Feel free to post them in the comments section of this live video. I've got some fun ideas for things that we can do. They may involve some triangles, but I think that you can do it, and we're going to make a dent in those scraps while we do. If there's anything that you'd like me to share on a Quilt-Cam, please let me know. Some things, of course, I'm limited because I only have one standalone camera behind my machine. I don't have a producer. I don't have an overhead camera. I don't have an over my shoulder so that you can see what my hands are doing kind of camera. But we'll do the best that we can here, and it's been really fun to spend some time with you. I'm going to go have lunch with my son. So I will catch you later. Have a wonderful afternoon, everybody, and we'll see you next time whenever it might be. See you later. Bye-bye.